Oh. My name is Heather O'Day. I'm the music director here at the Sonoran Desert Center for Spiritual Living. And what is happening to my microphone? I don't know. Bear with me just for a moment. I've got to make sure that that's not going to happen for the rest of the morning. Okay, that's better. All right. So if you'd like to stand and sing, we're going to do the Way of the Heart today. And as far as I know, the words are not inside your program. Yeah. Well, this is a favorite of ours. Let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through. Love upon love. Love upon love upon love. All hearts beating as one. All hearts are beating as one. Light upon light. Light upon light upon light. Shining as bright as the sun. Shining as bright as the sun. Let the way of the heart. Let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through. Love upon love upon love. All hearts are beating as one. Light upon light upon light, shining as bright as the sun, shining as bright as the sun.
Hello, I'm Kathy Graves, and happy Father's Day, everybody who's a father. You're lucky. So, on behalf of Reverend Donna Maurer and the Board of Trustees, I am privileged to welcome you to the Sonoran Desert Center for Spiritual Living. Whoever you are and wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are truly welcome here. You will be validated, supported, and encouraged to be all that you are meant to be. Our vision statement is loving action every day, in every way. And we express this love by learning and living the principles of the science of mind. You'll find our declaration of principles on the back of your program. Please join me now in reading them. I believe there is an intelligent... I believe the intelligent power is only good. I believe this intelligence expresses as me. I believe through my conscious use of this power, my life is happy, healthy, and complete, and so it is. So if this is your first time here, we especially welcome you. Do we have anyone here the first time? I'd like to thank those who are assisting to make the morning possible. All the names of helpers, and we have so many good helpers. Susan, John, Wanda and Doug, and Gray, yeah. And I'm not great with names, but I know that there are a lot of people helping us here, so we really love you and appreciate all you're doing to help. And what's your name? Gary. Okay. So please direct your attention to the announcements in the bulletin. And if you're watching us online, please visit cslaz.org for our announcements and event calendar. Thank you. So take a moment to silence your phones and devices and prepare for our celebration today. Thank you.
Thank you.
We share a perfect unity. The oneness, the wholeness, the allness of God. The oneness, the wholeness, the allness of God. God as you and God as me. We share a perfect unity.
Good morning and happy Father's Day. My name is John Lopez and I am one of your awesome practitioners here at this center, and it's my pleasure to be prac of the day. Won't you join me in our opening invocation? I invite you to close your eyes if you feel so inclined, and know with me that God is right here, everywhere present, filling all space, right here in this sanctuary, and expressing in, through, and as everyone here. I know that in this one mind, today's service is actually whole, perfect, and complete right now, as expressed through the divine wisdom of Reverend Donna, through our awesome spiritual music from Heather, through our practitioners, and through each and every person here today. Our service is whole, perfect, and complete right here and right now. And we anchor this by saying, and so it is. All right. So my reading today is from this month's Science of Mind magazine on page 11, and it's by our CSL's spiritual leader, Dr. Edward Viljoen. I can never pronounce. Viljoen. All right, Dr. Edward Viljoen. And his little article is called Tap into Your Soul's Intention. Do you know that within you, ready to be used, are beautiful and magnificent abilities? You have the innate ability to love and create. You have the power within you to become passionate about whatever you pay close attention to. Such power lives within you and is activated when you choose to be kind, to care about others, and to extend your interest outside yourself. Using your inner power can also be as gritty and as challenging as cultivating nonviolent thoughts in a social atmosphere of contention and division. It can be as challenging as not giving up in a climate of hopelessness and confusion. It can be as demanding as refusing to let social trends affect your respect for life. No matter how you and I choose to use the infinite storehouse of power within us, notice how it comes to life when we give loving attention to anything around us. When we become interested in something, life responds by igniting passion, excitement, enthusiasm within us. It also is remarkable how passion seems to go deep and seems to go to sleep when we are self-involved or disengaged from others. The best way I know to let the power come alive is to use my innate ability to love, practice affection, and each day to practice loving in a larger way than I did the day before. When we get in touch with our natural inclination to be kind, or when we become kind-heartedly interested in something, a bright and joyful inner light turns on and becomes a blessing and a guide for everyone around us. The joy that comes from being dialed into life's possibilities is not pretend happiness, quote unquote. It is the joyfulness of life responding to the soul doing what it is intended to do. Centers for Spiritual Living strives to assist individuals in their evolutionary awakening to the power that lives within them. We encourage everyone to live courageous, fearless lives and to be passionate about life and its possibilities by becoming meaningfully involved in service to the world. Namaste. So I light our service candle, and I will be sitting over there by our prayer table. So anyone who might have any wish for a prayer, our practitioner team will do prayer for you during the week. And all you have to do is fill out a card and put it in the prayer box. Namaste.
Trust love, trust love, trust God. Then love is everywhere. Then we are here to be the perfect givers of love and receivers of love, and love will have the final word. No one ever loses when one trusts love, for love is something that will not ever fail. Love is the essence of the Spirit that is known by always giving. Love always sees the truth beyond the appearance that we're showing. Love judges not, and love renews. Yes, love renews. Love is a healer. Oh, yes, it is. Love loves to love. Love loves to love, and we'll keep on being love, and we'll keep on being love. This is its holy way. And trust love, trust love, trust God. That love is everywhere, and we are here to be the perfect givers of love and receivers of love. And love will have the final word. And love will have the final word.
Thank you. Pretty, pretty. Good morning. Happy Father's Day. What, the fourth time, fifth time? You know, I recognize, and I said this in the, I wrote this in the e-news, that there's a whole bunch of things going on this weekend. Not only Father's Day today, but Juneteenth is our newest national holiday, and that's was celebrated yesterday for the very first time. A few months ago, I didn't know anything about Juneteenth. How many didn't know anything about Juneteenth? Oh, good, I'm not alone. I just didn't know, and now it's a holiday. So I'm very proud that we brought that in to our diversity, and then today, of course, is the beginning of summer. This is the summer solstice. This is the longest day of the year, day of sunshine of the year. And then something else I didn't know was that the month of June is also, the whole month of June, is Gay Pride Month. So there's another part of our diversity. How beautiful that it's all coming together in the month of June. So our theme for the month is the way of the heart, and our topic today is from a contented heart, serenity. And I like to define things. I like to look things up. What's the definition of everything? Because sometimes you get a surprise. Like the word contented is defined as accepting one's situation or life with equanimity and satisfaction, satisfied with things as they are. And serenity is described as the state of being calm, peaceful, and untroubled. Well, we don't have any problem with those definitions. But these two words have some archaic meanings that I found really interesting. Serenity has its roots in the Middle Ages, where serene was a way of describing an expanse of sky or water, sea, that was very calm. So in those days, someone might say, not a cloud obscured the serene. Not a cloud obscured the clear sky. And contented comes from the Latin contentus, which means to hold or contain, content. And one of its definitions is to be willing. To be willing. So, from the current definitions that we already know, we could translate the topic today to something like the heart that's satisfied and accepts things as they are is peaceful and calm. That would be another way of saying, from a contented heart, serenity. And I know that we all have those times when we feel that. Everything is right with the world and everything is coming together. You look at Terry and I were talking this morning and she said, it's so beautiful here, because I was worried about her. This is her first week as relocating and it's the hottest summer on the planet, So, but she said, no, it's beautiful. And I'm glad she could see through that discontent to the beauty that we have here. Where am I? Okay. But there's also times when we are discontented. And we know something's calling us to make some changes. So does that mean that we're not serene? Well, if we take those second, the more archaic definitions, and we translate it, it could go something like this. When our heart contains willingness, we become clear. And so that, to me, that's a different picture. You know, it means that even in the tumultuous times of my life, if I'm willing to see a bigger picture, then I can gain clarity about the situation, and I'm able to move through it with a sense of peace, even though my outer world may not be reflecting it. You know, spiritually, we call this the peace that passes all understanding. And we know that it isn't something from the outside in, but it's something that is inherent in all of us. And we find that in those moments when our monkey mind is quieted and we can sit in quiet contemplation or meditation. And if we're trying to find true serenity, then there must be a balance between this meditation, this quiet time, and the actions that we take. The student asked the master, "What is the highest act a person can perform?" His reply said, "Sitting in meditation." Well, wouldn't that lead to inaction? It is inaction. Well then, is action inferior to inaction? Inaction gives life to action. Without it, they are dead. So in other words, we have to have them both. There's this incredible balance between the two. One informs the other always if we're going to live a spiritual life. Our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, says, thought swings from contemplation into action, from prayer into performance. For well, there is in the innermost recesses of our soul a place which dwells in eternal stillness and inaction. There is also a place at the circumference of our being which, animated by this inner principle, goes forth to accomplish. So meditation or quiet contemplation brings us to that depth of our being where we touch a wisdom that is beyond our intellect. And if we're going to find serenity in those times of discontent, then we need to be grounded with that wisdom. T.S. Eliot says, at the still point of the turning world, there the dance is. Except for the point, the still point, there would be no dance, and there is only the dance. So we process ideas and take action in our world of affairs, and that's the dance that we participate in. But for us to be in perfect rhythm, we must have begun at that still point of quiet contemplation. So the more balanced we are between doing and being, between action and inaction, the more we invite spirit into our whole life. And so then we can begin to see that spirit is that unseen source, the substance that animates everything that we do, everything that we are. John used Edward Villon's article in The Science of Mind for his reading today. And I remember a talk that he gave that has stayed with me. And I've probably used it before, but I don't care. Because he says, from the standpoint of metaphysics, there are two ways to progress through this world. From the view that God is all there is, or from the point of view that God is not all there is. And he says one way is soulful and deep, and the other way is painful, traumatizing, and disorienting. So I believe that a heart that is willing to see everything as God is all there is, as God is all there is, will still have those moments of angst. We're not going to go. We are human beings having, spiritual beings having a human experience, and in that human experience, excuse me, we are going to stub our toes. We're going to have a bad day. We're going to want to use a four-letter word. I mean, it just happens. But it is at those exact moments that show us that we're believing that God is not all there is. So it's important that we have them because it brings us back. It brings us back. If we're to find that serenity that comes from a contented heart, we have to be willing to look at that discontent because it's precisely there that we're going to find our way back to the belief that God is all there is. Joseph Campbell brought us an understanding of the hero's journey, which is really and truly the soul's journey within each and every one of us. And in many cases, the journey begins with a divine discontent. If we know that God is all there is, this divine discontent then is more of an intuitive push to a greater life. It was divine discontent that drew me to leave the Midwest for California. I had no idea that God is all there is, so many of my experiences were less than contented. And yet, because I did act on that divine discontent, it drew me not only to California, but to my entire spiritual life, where I am now learning that God is all there is. So, this divine discontent may not move us to a new state, but it is an inner urging that's telling us, it's our intuition that's telling us to listen to the spiritual messages that come from that discontent. It's a small voice. It's telling us something. And we may be guided to do something as small as rearrange a drawer, to something as big as pursuing a dream that takes us to a new land. So discontent, trauma of any kind, is an inner alarm that tells us we're not in harmony with the truth of our being. And so maybe what we need to do is to go within and find those places of upset and work with them until we get to that clarity that they're pointing to. Again, Dr. Villon says we are made with such freedom that it is possible for our personal reality to be more real to us than reality. So, and by that what he means is there is the experience that we have, and then there is what we tell ourselves about the experience that we have had. And they're not always the same. Matter of fact, a lot of times they're not. Because what we tell ourselves about the experience usually comes from a database that we have created in our mind by past experiences. And if we're not careful, that database can become our prison. Because if we describe the present experience in terms of the past ones, all we're going to do is create another like experience. And that's why those moments of discontent are precious. Because if we take that serious inner look, we're going to find those places where God is not all there is. So we may have to unravel what we told ourselves. And if we are willing to sort these things out, then we do uncover the truth and the serenity that comes with it. I've told you, you guys know, that when I was little, I lived on a farm where there were no other children within miles. And so my playmates were a chicken that was blind in one eye, so I could sneak up on it and catch it, and a neighbor's kid goat that would play follow the leader with me, going up the steps of the picnic table, and then jumping off the top. We'd just do that for so, but just before it was time to start kindergarten, we moved to the suburbs where there were as many kids on the block as there were blades of grass. And I had no idea how to interact with them. None. I felt scared. I felt inadequate. I felt stupid. An answer to Einstein's question, is the universe a friendly place? Not there. And years later, and I from that point forward, because I was happy as a pig in mud when I was in the farm, from that point on, the universe was not a safe place for me. And years later, I went to a therapist who helped me sort the facts of that move from the stories that I told myself about it. She asked me to go through it with full feeling, everything I felt. And then she asked me to go through it with just the facts and no feelings. And what I could see when we did that was that the facts did not represent a world of being scared. It didn't support that. But I didn't have the tools to work with it at the time. And then when I was when I no longer saw that little girl, saw me, as stupid, then I was able to love that little girl and make major headway changes to my old belief system. And that's the way it works. That's the way it works. If we seriously believe that God is all there is, then we cannot hold that belief and the belief that we're not good enough at the same time. If God is all there is, then we are precious and magnificent expressions of God, which means that we are worthy of the life that we've been given, and we are certainly good enough. I love the affirmation that Dr. Margaret Stewart says. She says, I am the place where God stands forth as me. Isn't that neat? I am the place where God stands forth as me. So when we take our spiritual practice seriously, from that contemplative time in the silence, we begin to see, and we've been told that Dr. Edwards said that our past beliefs could become a prison. In that quiet time, what we come to know is not only have we become prisoners of those beliefs, but we are also the jailer, and we have the key. And the key is simply to be willing to remember that God is all there is, and I am the place that God stands forth as me. A Course in Miracles says your task is not to seek for love, but to find barriers in yourself that you have built against it. And that includes the barriers that have kept us from loving ourselves. Alan Cohen says the Hawaiian spiritual tradition teaches that every child born into this world is like a bowl of light containing the radiance of heaven. If rocks are placed into the bowl, the light of original innocence is hidden. Fear, guilt, unworthiness are some of the stones that mask our true brilliance. He says, the more rocks in our bowl, the less light we shine. Angry, nasty, or irksome people have lots of rocks in their bowls, while radiant, happy, and joyful people have few. And he goes on to say the game of enlightenment is not about going out and getting something we do not have or becoming something that we are not. We are already enlightened. We have simply covered our wisdom. We started out fine. We got defined. And now we must re-find. So to refine our true nature so that we can come to life with a contented heart, we may have to remove some of the rocks in our bowl. And reprogram that database. Health, happiness, and success are our birthright, and we carry all we need within us to manifest all the good we seek. But first we must remove everything from our consciousness that works against the full expression of what we are. So this week, just think about, do you have rocks in your bowl? What are some of the rocks in your bowl? This is a nice hot week, so we're going to spend a lot of time inside. It'd be a good time to spend some quiet time contemplating and getting rid of some of those rocks. Because when we change our perceptions and change our thoughts and beliefs, we release that true essence so that it shines forth to the world. And that way you and I become the unimpeded place where God stands forth in the world. And in that authenticity, we move into the world with an ease and grace and the serenity that can only come from a truly contented heart. Thank you. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
sometimes come living this thing called life. Am I wise enough to make the right decisions when I'm standing at the fork in the road? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Am I big enough to do the things I need to do to take care of myself? Will I have the health of mind and body to live a life of grace and wholeness? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place. You are the place. You are the place where God shows up. I am the place. You are the place. You are the place where God shows up. That's I Am the Place Where God Shows Up by my friend Eddie Watkins.
You chose well. Oh, perfect. What a perfect song. Thank you. Before we do our offering affirmation, I want to make an announcement. On the announcements, it says Wednesday Night Live. Heather is taking a sabbatical, and I didn't get that into the announcements this week. So don't look for her this Wednesday night on Facebook, because she ain't going to be there. Well deserved. Well deserved.
Yeah. Now, there is an archive of all the Wednesday Night Live shows. We do have a playlist on our Facebook page archiving all of the Wednesday night shows. So if you'd like to go back and watch any of those, they're at your disposal.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're good. They're good. So, okay, it is time for our offering. And before we say our affirmation together, if you're watching this on YouTube, please join us by donating to our center, be a part of our center, and that way we can all be one big family. We'd like it very much. So with that, let's say our offering affirmation. My gift goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless all that it touches. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I share generously of my good, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly, and so it is. So as we close this service out in prayer, my good wishes go with each and every one of you today and throughout the week. John and I are going to take a couple of days up to the mountains. So, yeah, I'm very excited about that. It'd just be, I love it up there. It's so pretty, so pretty. Okay, so let's close out in prayer. There is one mind. It's the mind of God. It's the mind that we use. There is one life. It is the life of God that animates all creation. You and I are expressions of that one. And by our thoughts, our beliefs, our ideas, we use that mind of God to form our world of expression. I just speak my word that each of us right now expresses uniquely as us, doing the things that we want to do, the things that we enjoy, doing the things that bring us fulfillment. And I speak my word for anyone who may have a rock or two to take a look at, to know that right now it dissipates just right in front of us as we turn to all that good and beauty and joy that is ours by divine heritage. So I bless this day, this week, this Happy Father's Day, this Juneteenth, Gay Pride, all the different things that are going on, summer solstice, and just know that this day is good and very good. We declare it, know it's true as we say together, and so it is. Thank you so much.
So let there be peace. I understand.